हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ आर यू? क्या हो रहा है? यस, इन आवर लास्ट मॉड्यूल वी हैव सीन reflection on the basis of wave theory, Huygens principle. Now today we are going to see another article, that is refraction on the basis of wave theory. What is that? Refraction on the basis of wave theory. Refraction on the basis of wave theory. It's a very important article for CBSE point of view. For that I am drawing first figure here. Suppose here XY is a plane surface that separates denser medium to the rarer medium. Suppose this is our denser medium and this is our rarer medium. XY is an interface. Above here it is rarer medium. Rarer medium means particles are far apart, where the denser medium or the particle are very close. Now the denser medium to that of rarer medium of refractive index mu. Denser medium here it is a denser medium, say the refractive index is mu. If C1 is the velocity of light in rarer medium, C2 is the velocity of light in a denser medium. So I can write the refractive index would be mu is equal to C1 by C2. This is the definition here. Now, here I am taking a plane wave front AB. AB is a plane wave front. You can see here. Incident on this surface XY. Say at an angle of incidence B, A and A dash. Say here is A dash. And this angle here is I. Now we are taking 1, 2, 3. Here is 1, here it is 2, and here it is 3. We are taking here 3 rays, 1, 2 and 3 are the corresponding incident rays normal to AB. These are the incident rays normal to AB I am taking here. Okay. Now, so according to the Huygens principle, Huygens is our scientist name. Every point on AB is a source of secondary wavelet. Every point on AB is a source of secondary wavelet. Let the secondary wavelets from B strikes XY at A dash. Suppose like this here. Here it is A dash. In T second. यहां से यहां तक आने में उसको कितना समय लगता है? T second. So what is B A dash? How much distance it is? The velocity of light here is C1 and time here is T. So I can say B A dash, that is C into T. C is the velocity of light. Okay? Yes sir. Secondary wavelets from A travels to the denser medium with a velocity C2 and would cover a distance C2 into T in a time T second. So therefore A as a center and radius equal to C2 into T. Here the velocity is C2, time is T. So I am taking here from it is a center and draw an arc here. Of what is distance? C2 into T, because C2 is the velocity here. Is it clear? Now, so what I am telling here, the secondary wavelets from A travel to the denser medium with a velocity c2 and covers a distance c2 into t in a time t seconds. So A is a center and radius equal to c2 into t. Radius equal to c2 into t. Here, draw an arc. Here say B dash. Okay. Now from A dash, draw a tangent plane touching this spherical arc tangentially at B dash like this. Here is a point B dash. So what I am telling children, from A dash, draw a tangent plane touching this spherical arc tangentially at B dash. So A dash B dash is the secondary wavefront after a time t second. So A dash B dash is the secondary wavefront. Now, so A dash B dash is the secondary wavefront after a time t second, and now see that from here, say it is 1 dash. A ray coming from here now. So what I am taking here, A dash B dash is the secondary wavefront after a time t second. So 1 dash, here it is 1. Here the ray coming from 2 strikes here, say here, and come here, say 2 dash. And here you can see that 3 dash. So dear children, 1 dash, 2 dash and 3 dash are the corresponding refracted ray perpendicular to A dash B dash. That is perpendicular to A dash B dash. So I can show here the secondary wavelets starting from any other point, say here A, B, and this point is say D. So here is D, here is P, and here is B dash. So what I am telling, I can show that the secondary wavelets starting from the point this on the incident wavefront AB, after reflection at a point P, must reach the point D dash on A dash B dash in the same time in which B reaches at A dash. What I mean to say, जब ये रे यहाँ से यहाँ तक पहुंच रही है, उतने ही समय में रे यहाँ से यहाँ तक पहुंच रही है, D से D dash तक. Is it clear? Yes. So A dash B dash is the true refracted wavefront. A dash B dash is the true refracted wavefront. A dash B dash is the true refracted wavefront. Let R be the angle of refraction. Here this angle say A dash B dash. This is angle R. So you can say angle A dash B dash. This is angle R. This is angle of refraction. This is angle of refraction. Write down. This is the angle of refraction. So in this triangle A dash B, A dash B, in a triangle A dash B, what you can write? In the triangle A dash B, what is sine I? What is sine I here? Sine theta is equal to perpendicular upon hypotenuse. What is perpendicular here? That is BA dash. Hypotenuse AA dash. So BA dash divided by AA dash. Say it is our equation number 1. Similarly, in the triangle A dash B dash. In the triangle A dash B dash. That is sin R. Again I can write sin R is equal to perpendicular AB dash divided by AA dash. AB dash divided by AA dash. This is our equation number 2. So according to these two equations, what is sin I upon sin R? Sin I upon sin R. Here, divide these two equations. First, you want to find out what is sin I. First, you write here what is sin I. Sin I is equal to BA dash upon AA dash. What is BA dash? BA dash, it is a distance from here to here. Velocity is C1. I can write here BA dash is equal to C1 into T here. And what is AA dash? AA dash, you can write here AA dash. Similarly, sin of R. Put here. What is AB dash? That is C2 into T divided by AA dash. Yes, sir. These are the distance. Here is the velocity C1 and here is the velocity C2. Now, what is sin I upon sin R here? So, with the help of these two equations, I can write sin of I divided by sin of R, that is equal to C1 by C2 here. So, this is the value here, sin I upon sin R. It is the ratio of the two velocities, that is equal to mu. And this is called Snell's law. This is called Snell's law. Yes. Now, so incident ray 1, 2, 3, this is first. Then the incident ray 1, 2 and 3. Normal to the interface XY. Incident ray 1, 2, 3. Normal to the interface XY. Normal to the interface XY. And refracted ray 1 days, 2 days, 3 days. And refracted ray 1 days, 2 days and 3 days. Incident ray normal to the interface. Refracted ray 1 days, 2 days, 3 days. All lie in the same plane. All lie in the same plane. This is the second law of reflection. This is the second law of refraction. Is it clear? So dear children, do it now. Now we are going to see what do we mean by principle of superposition. What is the meaning of principle of superposition? Principle of superposition. Here. For that, suppose I am having one wave something like this. It is a sinusoidal wave. And say it has an amplitude A1. Now, here is the displacement and here is the time. Here is the time. Here is the displacement. And another ray, say, of amplitude A2 in this manner. Here it is A1 and here is A2. So what we are observing here with the help of this diagram, C diagram. two, one and two or more progressive wave can travel simultaneously in a medium without affecting the motion of one another. They are not affecting on one another. Then what happened? So the resultant displacement of each particle of the medium at an instant, that is equal to this one here in this manner, and here the resultant displacement is equal to A1 plus A2. So the resultant displacement of each particle of the medium at any instant is equal to the vector sum of the displacement produced by the two waves separately. Suppose first wave has an amplitude y1, second one is a y2. The resultant wave I can write here, that is equal to y here. This is called principle of superposition. What is this? This is called principle of superposition. Write down. Two or more progressive wave, two or more progressive wave, two or more progressive wave, here this is 1 and this is 2, can travel simultaneously, like this in a medium without affecting each other, in a medium without affecting each other. Then what happened? जब ये एक दूसरे को अफेक्ट नहीं कर रहा है, so the resultant displacement of each particle, then the resultant displacement of each particle here, say this is y1 and this is y2. Resultant displacement of each particle of the medium at any instant, at any instant is equal to the vector sum of the displacement produced by the two waves. Vector sum of the displacement produced by the two waves respectively. Write down. This is the definition of principle of superposition. So resultant displacement you can see here, y is equal to y1 plus y2. Is it clear? Now, what do you mean by interference of two waves? What is interference of two waves? What do you mean by interference of two waves? Let us see here. When the two waves of same frequency travels in a medium, when the two waves of same frequency travel in a medium simultaneously. travel in a medium simultaneously in the same direction. In the same direction. Then due to their superposition, then due to superposition, the resultant intensity at any point, of the medium is different from the sum of the medium is different from the sum of intensity of the two waves. Sum of the intensity of the two waves. Some point the intensity of the resultant wave is maximum, and some point the intensity of the resultant wave is minimum. Let us see. Some points the intensity of the resultant wave is very large or maximum, and some point it is a very small, or I can say zero. This is called interference of two waves. Let us see here. Suppose we are having here two waves. One is this one, say like this, and another one, a wave is something like this. So the resultant wave comes out to be in this manner. Here. So I can say here it is the maximum. Here it is zero. Similarly, in the other case, if I draw a figure something like this, here it is the one wave and here it is the another wave. Here is the displacement or amplitude is y1, here is y2, both are in opposite direction. So resultant wave is something like this, in this manner. So here you can say, here is the displacement y and here is time. Here, this is the maximum point called crest. Here is the point called trough. In this case, the resultant displacement would be y is equal to y1 plus y2. Here is the case, that is y1 plus y2, where that in this case y is equal to y1 minus y2. Here it is y1. Here it is y2. Similarly here, this is y1 and this is y2. Yeah. This is called interference of two waves. Is that clear? Now, we can say at the some point where the intensity is maximum, or the another point where the intensity is minimum. Is that clear? Yes. Now, one more thing I want to explain here. What do you mean by coherent sources? What is coherent sources? What is coherent sources? That is the two sources of light, whose frequencies are same, and the phase difference between the waves and the phase difference between the waves emitted by which remains constant. So what is that? The sources of light whose frequencies are same, frequency दोनों की same है, and the phase difference emitted by the source which remains constant with respect to time, with respect to time is called coherent sources. What are the conditions for that? This is a 1 mark question. I mean to say that अगर एक वेव दूसरी वेव से एक कांस्टेंट फेज एंगल से आगे चल रही है तो you will be continuously in the forward direction. Both are with the same phase difference. Okay? Yes. Now, what are the conditions for that? The condition for obtaining two coherent sources of light. Condition for two coherent sources. First, that is coherent sources of light should be obtained from a single source. एक सिंगल सोर्स लेंगे, उसी से हम यहां पर coherent सोर्स बनाएंगे. First condition is coherent sources of light should be obtained from a single source. First condition is coherent sources of light should be obtained from a single source. And the second one is the two sources should be give monochromatic light. The two sources should give monochromatic light. Means their wavelengths are same. Two sources should give monochromatic light. This is also in 1 mark question. And third one, the path difference. Third one is the path difference between light waves. The path difference between light waves from two sources should be small. These are very, very important conditions to obtain coherent sources of light that we have to use in our next module, YDSE experiment. That is YDSE, Young's double slit experiment, in which we will get two coherent sources from a single source. So these are the important conditions. Write down. Condition for obtaining coherent sources of light. Okay, so today all about this module. Bye.